Long before cities, writing, or even spoken history, North America was a frozen wilderness where survival was the only goal. Every sunrise meant another fight against hunger, cold, and powerful predators. Every sunrise meant another fight against hunger, cold, and powerful predators. For just a moment, the world seemed to stop as two strangers looked at one another. They shared no language, no names, yet something quietly connected them. Thousands of generations later, that same mysterious feeling still shapes our lives. Every smile, every hug, every family begins with the same powerful emotion. But what if we traveled back to the very beginning? Before villages or kingdoms, people lived in small families constantly searching for food and safety. In a world where every day was about survival, there seemed to be no room for love, or was there? Days later, fate brought them together again, in the same quiet forest. It wasn't a conversation, just a smile that spoke louder than words. They belonged to different families, different worlds, yet neither could forget the other. That night, both sat quietly thinking about someone they barely knew. Another morning, another unexpected meeting beside the river. They shared the same water, and perhaps the same quiet curiosity. Without saying a word, she offered the simplest gift she could find. He answered kindness with kindness. They spoke no language, but somehow, they understood each other. Deep inside the human brain, powerful chemicals were quietly shaping emotions that would change humanity forever. The same brain chemicals that shape love today already existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. Whether in the Ice Age or today, our brains respond to love almost exactly the same. Days turned into weeks, and chance meetings slowly became familiar moments. He admired her kindness long before either of them understood what they were feeling. But nature could change everything in a single moment. One small mistake, and her life hung by a thread. He didn't stop to think, he simply ran. In that single heartbeat, instinct gave way to something far more powerful. They survived, and their bond became stronger than ever. Perhaps this simple act of sacrifice became one of the first steps toward the humanity we know today. Most animals instinctively protect themselves. Humans slowly evolved to protect one another. Some animals survive through teamwork, proving that cooperation has always been a powerful strategy. Even in the harshest environments, some species survive because partners depend on one another. Nature offers many examples of lasting partnerships, but humans would take this bond even further. Our strongest survival advantage wasn't sharper claws, it was stronger relationships. But soon, nature would test every family in ways they had never experienced. As winter tightened its grip, every meal became a matter of survival. After days of searching, fortune finally rewarded the hunters. But instead of keeping every bite for himself, he made a remarkable decision. He left without waiting for thanks, because true kindness asks for nothing in return. The next morning, she discovered a gift that could save her family from another hungry day. She never saw who left it, but deep inside she already knew. One simple act of kindness brought warmth, food, and hope back into the camp. She found her own way to say thank you. Without a single word, they continued speaking through generosity. Soon, their families noticed something unusual. Fear was slowly turning into trust. For perhaps the first time, two families chose cooperation instead of suspicion. The children accepted friendship long before the adults fully understood it. They weren't just sharing food anymore, they were sharing knowledge that could save lives. What began as a quiet connection between two people may have helped unite entire communities. As families connected with one another, their chances of survival grew stronger than ever before. One family alone struggled to survive, but united families could overcome almost anything. Scientists believe long-term partnerships gave humans an extraordinary evolutionary advantage. Unlike most animals, human babies depended on years of care, making strong families essential. Knowledge passed from parents to children became humanity's greatest inheritance. Every hunt carried enormous risk, but failure meant starvation. Then, in an instant, everything went terribly wrong. Unable to escape, she faced a danger no one could outrun. He made a choice that defied instinct, risking his own life to save someone else. In that unforgettable moment, courage became stronger than fear, and love became stronger than survival. Scientists believe love changes the brain itself, encouraging us to protect those we care about. In nature, survival usually comes first. Humans slowly evolve to place loved ones beside themselves. Empathy, cooperation, and compassion became some of humanity's greatest survival tools. The years passed quietly, but their bond only became stronger. Love wasn't only about emotion. It inspired people to build, protect, and create a future together. Every lesson shared between generations helped humanity survive another day. Time changed their appearance, but never their connection. What began with two strangers slowly transformed an entire community. Across the continent, families connected, communities expanded, and humanity continued to grow. Perhaps civilization was built not only with tools, but with trust, families, and love. Thousands of years passed, but the story of human connection continued. Today, archaeologists uncover clues that reveal how our ancestors once lived. Sometimes, two people are found resting together after thousands of years. Healed bones tell us something extraordinary: someone cared long enough for them to recover. Burial rituals suggest that love did not end with death. Our ancestors left behind stories painted in stone instead of written on paper. Families shared stories long before books or written language ever existed. Modern neuroscience shows that love activates powerful networks inside the human brain. Across thousands of generations, the feeling remained remarkably familiar. From the first campfire to the modern world, every generation became part of the same human story. Every discovery helps us understand the lives of people who came before us. Sometimes, even a pair of footprints can tell a remarkable story. No matter where humans lived, strong family bonds appeared again and again. Love takes many forms, but its purpose has always been connection. Our brains still carry emotional systems shaped by countless generations. Every generation inherited more than genes; they inherited the ability to care for one another. The warmth shared around the first campfires still echoes in our homes today. Human history is more than inventions and battles. It's the story of people caring for one another. We may never know their names, but their story lives on in every generation. So, when did humans first fall in love? The answer may be older than history itself. Even if their names were forgotten, the choices they made were never truly lost. Empathy became one of humanity's greatest strengths, allowing strangers to become family. Across every civilization, people continued choosing companionship over loneliness. Modern science continues discovering how deeply love is woven into the human brain. Although cultures differ, every human shares the same emotional foundation. The warmth of the first campfires still lives in every home where people gather together. Before humanity built civilizations, it first learned how to care for one another. Everything began with one simple moment: two strangers meeting beside a river. Their story became our story, passed from one generation to the next. Perhaps we'll never know exactly when humans first fell in love, but every act of kindness reminds us that the story is still being written. Perhaps the first promise humans ever made was simply, "I won't leave you behind." The same flame that warmed our ancestors still burns wherever families gather today. Love became a lesson, quietly passed from one generation to the next. Across every era, humanity remained connected by compassion and cooperation. Our greatest achievement wasn't just intelligence, it was learning to care for one another. History changed around us, but the human heart continued following the same current. The first smile shared between two strangers still echoes in every smile today. The story of humanity isn't finished. Every generation writes its own chapter. They began as strangers and finished life's journey together. We may never know their names, but their legacy shines across human history. Separated by thousands of years, united by the same human emotions. And perhaps that's the real answer. Humans first fell in love the moment they chose someone else's future to matter as much as their own.